So you know how everyone always talks about how bad sugar is for you? Well, there is actually this carb that's way worse than sugar, and most people don't even realize it. It's called maltodextrin. Like sugar, it gets all the hate. But this stuff is sneakier and more dangerous when it comes to spiking your blood sugar. If you look at the glycemic index, it's way higher than regular sugar or even glucose. Crazy, right? The sneaky part is that it's not technically classified as sugar, but it acts like sugar in your body, just in a more intense and harmful way. They even put it in sugar-free products. So you think you are avoiding sugar, but you are actually getting hit with something worse. It's in a ton of foods too, so you have got to watch out for it. So maltodextrin is basically this white starchy product that comes from breaking down starches like corn, rice, potato, or wheat. It's pretty common in processed foods because it has a lot of uses. This is how it's made. They cook the starch and then use acids or enzymes to break them into smaller glucose chain. This result is a neutral tasting water soluble powder that works well in all kinds of foods. Maltodextrin is super popular in the food industry because it's so versatile and useful. It works great as a thickener, giving sauces, dressings, and even sports drinks a better texture and feel. It can make liquid a bit more gel-like, which is awesome for improving that smooth and consistent vibe. Since it reduces moisture, it helps keep food fresher for longer. It's a lifesaver for processed foods, helping them stay long without spoiling too fast. It doesn't have much flavor, so you can add it to almost anything without changing how that thing tastes. It's especially good for sweetening things up when mixed with other sweeteners. And because it's a carb that's easy to digest, maltodextrin is a go-to ingredient in sports drinks and energy gels. Athletes love it because it's a fast way to refuel during or after a workout. In baked goods, snack bar, or frozen desserts, it helps with moisture and keeps things smooth. Plus, it can stop things from feeling gritty, which no one wants. If you are into low fat or low calorie foods, maltodextrin steps in to replace fat while still giving that creamy, rich texture. And it's usually made from corn or rice, so it's naturally gluten free. It does a ton of job in food production, basically a multitasking pro. However, nutrition wise, it's all carbs, no vitamins, no minerals, basically empty calories. Plus, it has a high glycemic index, so it can spike your blood sugar pretty quickly. Now, the question is it safe? For most people, yeah, it's considered safe by groups like the FDA, but if you are diabetic, you might want to keep an eye on it because of how it affects blood sugar. Also, if you are gluten sensitive or have celiac, double check where it's sourced from. It could come from wheat. Alright, so maltodextrin is generally considered safe, but if you eat a lot of it, there are some potential side effects to keep in mind. Maltodextrin can really mess with blood sugar levels because it has a super high glycemic index, even higher than regular sugar. It's got a glycemic index between 95 and 136, which means it's absorbed crazy fast and can cause your blood sugar to shoot up right after you eat it. Since your body breaks it down into glucose so quickly, it triggers a big insulin response to move all that sugar into your cells for energy. Now, if you have diabetes or insulin resistance, this can be a problem. Those sharp blood sugar spikes makes it harder to manage your blood levels and could even lead to a serious health issues if you are not careful. Even if you don't have diabetes, eating a lot of high glycemic index food like maltodextrin can cause a cycle of sugar highs and crashes. Over time, this might lead to weight gain or increase your risk for type 2 diabetes because the crashes leave you feeling hungrier and craving more food. If you are going to eat something with maltodextrin, pair it with fiber or protein. That can help slow down how quickly it's absorbed and take the edge off the blood sugar spike. For people with diabetes or other health concerns, if you are not sure how maltodextrin fits into your diet, check with your doctor or dietitian. They can help you figure out how to work it into your routine without causing issues. And be cautious about overdoing it because it might mess with your gut health, and that can make things even trickier. Both maltodextrin and sugar can affect gut health, but maltodextrin seems to cause more serious issues compared to regular sugar. Again, maltodextrin can mess with the protective mucus layer in your intestine, which is super important for keeping your gut healthy. Without that layer, inflammation can kick in, which might lead to problems like inflammatory bowel disease or other chronic gut issues. It can also throw off the balance of good and bad bacteria in your gut. Studies show that maltodextrin may help harmful bacteria like E. coli to thrive while cutting down on the good guys that keep your gut happy. It could even make it easier for certain pathogens to survive. Consuming a lot of maltodextrin could lead to low-grade gut inflammation, which might also mess with your metabolism. Now, sugar doesn't seem to damage the gut mucus layer the way maltodextrin does. It's more about adding empty calories to your diet rather than directly harming your gut lining. Sugar can still affect the gut microbiome if you eat it too much, potentially leading to an imbalance of bacteria, but overall its impact isn't as intense or harmful as maltodextrin when it comes to inflammation. If you are worried about gut health, maltodextrin is the bigger offender here. It can cause inflammation and seriously mess with your gut bacteria, so it's worth cutting back if you have digestive issues or inflammatory conditions. Sugar isn't totally off the hook, but its effects on gut health are generally less severe compared to maltodextrin. One study found that maltodextrin can make intestinal inflammation worse, especially in conditions like colitis. It messes with the protective mucus layer in your gut and stresses out the cells there, leading to a higher inflammation levels. Now, another study showed that maltodextrin actually harms the gut mucus barrier, which protects your intestine. In an experiment on mice, it even sped up the development of colitis, making it worse over time. On the flip side, some studies suggest that maltodextrin might be helpful for athletes. In one experiment with rats, it improved endurance and helped with weight management, but not all research agrees, so it's not a slam dunk. Maltodextrin is great for giving food products certain textures or longer shelf life, but when it comes to your health, there are trade-offs. It can be tough on your gut, potentially mess with your blood sugar, and even shift your gut bacteria in the wrong direction. Sometimes maltodextrin could be lumped in with starches or sugars, but its most common name on labels is still maltodextrin. While maltodextrin isn't always listed as an added sugar, it adds to the total carbohydrates. If you are trying to cut down on sugar or carbs, keep an eye on these parts of the nutrition label. And don't be fooled by health claims. Even products labeled as low calories or healthy might have maltodextrin always double check the ingredient list to be sure. If you keep these tips in mind, you will be able to spot maltodextrin quickly and make choices that fit your needs. And it shows up in all kinds of stuff like packaged foods. Think pasta, cereal, baked goods, salad dressings, and frozen meals. You can also find them in sports and energy products like protein powder, energy drinks, and even some energy gels use it because it's a quick carb boost. Processed goodies, instant puddings, cake mixes, it's often added to improve texture or increase shelf life. Some products might not list maltodextrin directly, especially if it's used in tiny amounts or as part of a flavoring or filler. Maltodextrin sometimes shows up under different names on food labels, so it's important to be aware of these sneaky alternatives. Corn syrup solids, dextrin, modified starches. These names often pop up in packaged snacks, sauces, energy drinks, and more. So it's good to keep an eye out if you are trying to avoid maltodextrin. Now, a lot of people might not realize that maltodextrin can raise blood sugar levels like regular sugar, even though it doesn't get labeled as one. This can lead to confusion when looking at food labels, since it doesn't immediately look like sugar but can still affect your blood glucose. So, maltodextrin role is more about texture and stability in foods and doesn't technically meet the sugar definition, so it's not listed as sugar, even though it can have a similar effect on blood sugar levels. Thank you so much for watching. If you found any value in this information, kindly hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. I will see you in my next video. And before you make any changes to your diet, consult a professional dietitian or a doctor before making any changes to your diet. See you soon.